Alright guys, so thanks for tuning back in. This is going to be the part of the videos that we're actually going to show you how to actually fit and prep and get the metal ready. Again today, my name's Garrett Maddox. I'm joined by
Dalton Grayson.
And today, like I said, we're going to talk about the fit up and the prep and getting everything ready. So I'm going to talk about what the metal's going to look like, what it should look like, and then Dalton's going to take over and he's going to show you how to actually prep and get everything ready. So again, the first piece of metal when you first get them, they're going to come out and they're going to look a little rusted like this. They're going to have a little surface rust on the metal. So again, making sure you get them all cleaned up and prepped and ready. When they're done with, you want to make sure it's all shined up like this on the face in case you have any discontinuities you need to fix. You need to shine your bevel up. Make sure you have your root face, or also referred to as a land. And then make sure you get the backside cleaned up a little bit to make sure there's no trash getting pulled into it and everything. So again, when it's done and everything, you might be asking, well, how do I do that inside your booth? That's what this video is going to show you. We're going to actually show you how to safely do it inside our booth and get everything prepped and ready. And that's where these clamps are going to come from that we talked about in the previous video. So I'm going to let Dalton take over now.
Alright, so now we're going to get into prepping our base metal. Alright, so first things first, you're always going to have your safety glasses on when you step into our shop. And the shop gets loud sometimes, so you might want to throw your earplugs in. I already have mine in. So now we're going to get into prepping our base metal. So first things first, put your face shield on. Your welding gloves. Alright, now this is where the C-clamp comes in. Any kind of clamp will work as long as you can clamp it down to your table. So clamp it down. That's why your metal won't move while you're grinding, so you don't want the metal to move. That's why it doesn't, when you're grinding, it doesn't go into our table. All right. Alright, so now that I have the face and the back of the base metal clean, I'm going to go ahead and switch it over here. You could leave it here to clean the bevel and put the root face, or also known as the land. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and switch it over here because it's more comfortable for me.
Alright guys, so right now Dalton's got his root face prepped up and everything. Me and Dalton, we like running an 1/8 inch root face with an 1/8 inch gap. Again, that's your choice. We're going by the D11 code book, and it says anywhere from 0 to an 1/8 inch. So that's the max you can go, and 0 is just talking about an actual straight knife edge bevel. So a good way to actually check it, because again, you want to make sure it's a good all the way through and you're not getting any heavy or light spots. You can actually take the end of the 6010 rod, alright, and set it on the end there and actually take a look at it and see if it actually is that thick. So that's a good way to check it when you're getting everything ready. You can also use maybe like a 332 or something like that, depending on what size you've got there. And you just use something, just go down through there every so often, just kind of double check it and make sure that it's actually what you're wanting. If you need a little bit more, kind of buff that root face a little bit. If it got too heavy, that's all right. Just come back in with your grinder and just kind of shave this back just a touch, and that'll kind of lighten that up a little bit to get everything the way you want it. This is a good, important thing. So when you're at home and you're practicing at your high school shops or wherever you got a welding machine make sure that you're actually prepping and practicing the prep part. Most people tell you, if you have a good fit, it's going to make a good weld. So again, if your fit up's off, if you got a heavy spot in your root face or a light spot, it can either cause you to have light confusion or cause you to blow a big keyhole and actually mess you up that way. So again, this is actually a very, very important part, and it's the very first step in having a good weld and getting ready for the KWI contest. All right, guys, so Dalton talked to you about actually, prepping the metal, getting everything ready. I'm gonna talk to you about how to fit it up. Now, I got a couple different clamps here. I'm gonna show you a couple different ways to get it, because I understand, some of y'all may not be able to have some of this other stuff. So again, some people are actually used to the actual welder clamp or the tongs, or you've actually got, the set that we were using earlier to prep up. So again, a couple different ways. I'm gonna show you, like with this set right here, when you're getting everything ready and you're wanting to tack get everything ready to tack up. One thing you want to do, we talked about, making sure the land was correct, but it's also important to make sure you have the right gap. One way to do it is you can actually take your rod, open your plates up, slide that rod down in there, and close it down. Me and Dalton, we run an 1/8 inch land with an 1/8 inch gap. This is the same rod we use to actually measure our root face. All I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it down in there and make sure it's got a good gap. Now I can actually take it and clamp that metal down, and now I've actually got an 1/8 inch gap in there. When I tack it up though, it's going to draw just a touch bit, so it's going to be a touch bit tighter than an 1/8. But we want to get this first tack in there. Let's say if you don't have a set of clamps like this, one other way to do it is with the other set right here. What you can do there is actually just clamp down one side. So you clamp down this side over here. Now this side right here is not going to move, but this side over here is still free to do what it needs to do. You set that down in there, slide that up. Then when you're ready, pull that back out. Now you can actually hold this side, strike off this side over here, the plate that you got clamped down in case you have a rod stick or something like that. So you can set it down in here like this, clamp that together, push it together tight, hold it down with that left hand, put your hood on, and then take that rod and strike it up off this left hand side here, whichever side you got your clamps on, and then just kind of bring that weld over here and actually fuse it together, get that first tack in there. All right. So now I'm going to show you a couple. I'm going to leave this side over here. This one side, this set of clamps is actually pretty easy to use. I'm going to use this clamp right here because majority of y'all probably bring something like this. All right, so let's get my hood on here. Grab my old trusty Stinger. She's a little worse for wear, but she's held through the good years. All right, we're going to take this, double check it, make sure I got a good gap. Everything looks good there. Pull that out. Put my rod in my Stinger. All right. Get ready, and then you're going to strike up. And it don't take much for the tack. Again, you want to make sure you got a good solid tack in there, but you don't want to actually weld like a whole inch. Maybe a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch tack, and that's pretty much about all you need. Then you can unclamp this side right here. Now, you can tell I talked about drawing. It's going to want to draw together a little bit. Let that machine calm down there a little bit here in a second. But you can actually see this side over here is still an 1/8 inch. It's a touch bit tighter. When I get closer to the tack, it done what it was supposed to do. But when I get over here, you see how much play I got. You grab a hold of your plates, take them, just kind of push them together a little bit and get them back to the gap that you want. Take that rod, stick it back down in there just a little bit, and then you're actually ready to tack the other side. Alright, spin it around, tacking on that side, doesn't matter, I always like to have them close to me. Grab that rod, got everything the way you want it, double check it. Everything looks good, it goes right in there. Maybe open up just a touch. And then right there, we're good to go. Now they're tacked together, right? You actually do that on your other set of plates. This is our set of plates we got right here. We're talking about the fit up and everything. We're probably going to take a short break. Me and Dalton are going to go ahead and get the 2G and the 3G set up. Because again, we're running that horizontal, which is your 2G position, and that 3G, which is your vertical. The fit up and all that stuff is the same. I pretty much run the same thing for my flat, horizontal, vertical, and overhead. I never change my land, never change my gap. I don't change anything because again, here at KWI we teach a lot of combo pipe. If you're going to run your 60-10 root and the 70-18 fill and cap, if you're on that 5G pipe, if you're underneath the bottom of it, you got to run the same landing gap as you would on the side, which would be your 3G. So that's the reason why we don't like to change things up. We pretty much run the same thing all the way through, and it's a good way to start practicing that way. Alright guys, so we got this ready. We're going to take a short break, and me and Dalton are going to finish up the 2G and the 3G, and we'll tack them up position, and we'll start getting them ready to root for the next video. See y'all.